What's good, my people? What's good, my people? It's your boy Dad back with another video, and in today's video is going to be something a little different. It's going to be the biggest question marks heading into the offseason for certain teams. These are going to be the teams that lost in the playoffs, and we're going to start with the Mavericks. But before we start with the video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel at Break It Down Dev. Hit the like on the video for me, share the video with any of your friends that's fans of the Dallas Mavericks, and go ahead and hit that sub button to my boy Jackson's channel at Jackson Kruger Sports. But let's get straight into the video. So the Mavericks season is wrapped up, and they can't hold their head down. They lost in the first round. They lost 4-2 to the Clippers, but they didn't have their best player, or their second best player, in Kristaps Porzingis for 3 of the 6 games that they played. They get to go home and see their families. They're not trapped in that bubble, in that isolated area that the NBA has for the players that's remaining in the playoffs. And they had key moments. They had exciting moments in this playoff series. They won 2 games, like I said. Luka hit that game-winning step back in Game 4. We got to see the Trey Burke of old from Michigan and from Ohio, where I'm from. Shout out Columbus. But let's get back to the Mavericks. You got to see Steph Curry playing defense and really showing that why he's one of the most underrated players in the league. That's a video for a different day. Now, this video is about how the Mavericks are going to improve their roster. So, it's going to be tough to improve their roster, especially since they don't have any money really to spend. And you like, okay, well, we don't have money to spend, but we got draft picks probably to trade for a better player instead of taking a pick in the draft. But no, you don't, Mavericks fans. You gave up 2 of your first-round picks to the Hawks back in 2018 for Luka. You gave up 2 of your first-round picks to the Knicks for Porzingis, and it was Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. also in that deal. It's actually a really good deal for the Mavericks. They got over on the Knicks. The Knicks always get played. But this offseason, since you don't have any money, you're stuck in the spot where you have to pick at 18. They can't trade this pick because of the Stephen rule, where you can't trade back-to-back first-round picks. So they're stuck with the 18th overall pick this year, and I like Josh Green out of Arizona. He's a 6'6 wing, a 3-and-D defender. You could put him on the bench, develop him. The Mavericks have always been a good developmental team. They've always been able to get the best out of their players. But that's the draft. I don't want to get too deep into the draft because I'm not too into that realm yet. I haven't been watching. Well, I couldn't watch NCAA this year, but even so, I didn't watch when they were able to play. But they have to bring back Trey Burke, you would say, right? He played so well. The only reason he's on the team is because Willie Cauley-Stein opted out, didn't decide to join the bubble with the Mavericks. So the Mavericks had an open spot on their team, and they could pick up free agents. So they picked up Trey Burke because he was familiar with the team. Like I said, he was a part of that trade with Porzingis back in 2019. He played with them a few games. He looked all right. It wasn't bad. He got an offer from Philadelphia, went to Philly in that offseason, didn't perform well. They didn't like the mesh of him at point guard with Ben Simmons and everything, so it didn't work out, and he was able to leave, and that gave him the opportunity to play with the Mavericks this season, or in the bubble, and he played well in the bubble. He averaged 12 points, 4 assists. He played well against the Clippers. He was able to let Luka be an off-ball player because he was bringing the ball up the court, and Luka could run off of off-ball screens. He could find backdoor cuts and things like that, and not drain Luka, having him dribble the ball and deal with double teams and deal with blitzes and deal with all certain things like that. So to bring back Trey Burke would be big for them. I know he might get another offer from a different team after they've seen his performance this season in the bubble, and knowing that he's a lottery pick. But I think he should stay with the Mavericks because every time, the 2 stints that he had with the Mavericks, he's actually played extremely well. The next big question mark for the Mavericks is, what is Tim Hardaway Jr. going to do this offseason? Is he going to opt in and play for that $18 million player option that he has? Or is he going to opt out and look for a bigger contract? I don't see the Mavericks giving him a long-term deal, especially trying to get their money situated for that offseason of 2021, where their books will be completely open and they can find that third star to add to Luka and Kristaps. But Tim Hardaway Jr. is a hell of a player. I would tell you that right now. That trade where he was a part of the trade with Porzingis, he was looked at just a throwaway player, just a player to make the money add up. But as soon as he got to the Mavericks had a different plan for him. He was going to be a key player on this offense. He's a key piece. As soon as he got there, he started immediately. The following year, or this last year, he averaged 16 points per game, shooting 43% from the field and 40% from three. So they will want him back. They really want him back. They just can't give him a long-term deal, especially since Tim Hardaway Jr. is a streaky player. He's a baby J.R. Smith, and you don't want to give a long-term contract to players that can be streaky, and 1 year they fall off. They average a couple less points. Their three-point shooting isn't the best, and you're just strapped with that $18 million a year for your third best player, and he's not even. He wouldn't be the third best player on a majority of teams, especially when in a few years they're going to have to cash out Luka. So the next big thing, or the final thing that the Mavericks are going to have to answer, I don't think they'll be able to answer this, but this is a huge question for all Mavericks fans, is the long-term health of their big man in Kristaps Porzingis. He had an ACL tear back in 2018, and that made him sit out the rest of that season and the following year. This season he played decent. He played decent. He played really actually well. He averaged 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Dallas didn't play him in back-to-back games, so they were keeping him fresh. And then once it got to the bubble and it got to those first couple of games in the playoffs, this dude Porzingis was eating. This dude looked like that unicorn back in New York that we seen. And once again, the Knicks got played. They gave up a star in this league for 2 first-round picks that's going to be later-round picks, especially since those picks are for the 2021 draft and the 2023 draft. So, with his health, he tore his ACL, like I said, and in the playoffs, then he tore his meniscus in his opposite knee. So for big men, if you having problems with your knees, your ankles, your feet, anything to do with your legs, that could be ending to a career. And we don't want to see that for Porzingis. And no Mavericks fan wants to see that, obviously. So that's the last question that the Mavericks are going to deal with in this offseason. Like I said, they don't have any money. They don't have draft picks. It's really just retaining their players and probably finding a veteran player on the veteran minimum to add to that roster. Someone on the defensive side, maybe a big, or they could even go for DeMarcus Cousins and add more offense to their already loaded team. But that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know what you think the Mavericks are doing this offseason. Let me know what you think the best draft pick is for the Mavericks. I want to thank you for watching my video. Hit that subscribe button to my channel at Break It Down Dev. Go ahead and subscribe to my boy Jackson's channel at Jackson Kruger Sports. Hit the like button for me. And all right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay easy.